Good morning, my friends, my Culturians. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the warriors for, well, the culture war and everything else that comes along with it. And that's an awful lot. And we've got stories on one of the main fronts right now, the lying legacy media, that we're going to talk about as basically the primary story today. There are a lot of other stories as well that we are going to cover, including a bear story. So, Snortopithecus cuber, you're good. For those of you out there that show up every day, thank you for being here. If you're a lurker, hey, thank you for lurking. And for the several of you that are watching right now, do me the small, tiniest of favors: share the stream, share the dream, please. I noticed that Ms. Pitt Cafe is going to be going on vacation. Looks like Dr. Jill Powers will be stepping up, and hopefully can learn how to redirect the amazing audience from one place to another. This morning, following this show, is That Park Place Live with Mornings of Magic. Hopefully, if any of you see Staccato DDS out there, say hi, because I've been missing that guy. And we got so much more out there in store. So let's say hi to as many of you as we can get to, and let's get going. Like crazy white boy. Good to see you, my friend. And we've got the Snortopithecus, as I mentioned before. We've got a few other folks like Jill, as I mentioned before. Look at all these people showing up. Good morning to you. Just a Dutchie is in the house. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. And I think we got a couple of things I got to acknowledge here. For example, let's take a look at Just a Dutchie dropping 20 Culture Casino memberships. Oh my, that is a lot of people. Thank you, Just a Dutchie. I think a lot of people will enjoy their membership. We're going to be doing a lot of funny things here in the next week or so, including a couple of member first videos. We're going to get back to regular video production after a few days off because, well, StreamYard didn't like me. But hey, entirely different problem to have. Thank you, Just a Dutchie, and thank you to those of you who just picked those up. We got, man, so much stuff going on. It's pretty wild. Disney is just doubling down fiercely on this Kimmel thing. And I think Weatherman probably already said as much, but it looks like we got about 61 stations that will not be airing Kimmel. Sinclair Media wants no part of Kimmel. I don't want any part of Kimmel, but yeah, I'm not the only one. Let's see, we gotta do a couple of shout outs to some people who are just rolling in the door, like Cat Slave. How's it going? Believe me, we are all cat slaves. Morgan King's in the house. Hello. Welcome. Griffin, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Griffin's view out there. History every day. One of my favorite things. You guys are amazing. Commander Ed Straker. Hello. Houston. Hello. I missed that man. He would be telling the truth. Walter, good morning, pal. How you doing? Saying, NT article. Okay, I'll be checking it out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6-Minute Daily. We've got a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in. We've got 17 stories, plus, not to mention the fact that this is an abbreviated show because we're headed to That Park Place Live for Morning Magic. But wait, I had the story, didn't comment on the story, but Kimmel's back. That's right, you heard the news last night or last afternoon. Returning to late night today, but not everywhere. Not everywhere. ABC's ended the suspension for some reason. They suspended him for a reason, and now they're going to let him say whatever he wants to say. Disney thinks that, well, bending the knee to the left is a good plan. This is extreme bend. This is a deep knee bend, and it's not going to pay out for Disney in the long run. They've further fractionalized the audience. And that'll be quite evident when a bunch of affiliates don't put it on the air. I mean, Sinclair was the first one to come out and say, we're not going to do this. They're going to have some discussions with the network, I'm sure, but they're not going to do this. In the statement they released yesterday, a lot of it's going to have to be a conversation with Kimmel and his team, and they're looking for an apology. Nexstar is looking for more. But Jimmy Kimmel became the most important comedian on TV under Trump 2.0. This is an hysterical column because it's so inaccurate. Um, Guy only pulls in 129,000 viewers in the demo. Those are the people who are well qualified to buy things. They don't have. Um, this isn't a big audience. The show costs $16 million a year just for his salary. That's just his salary, not everybody else that works there. And it only brings in about 16 million in revenue. What is this telling you? This is very, very bad indeed. You got the New York Post coming out talking about this, saying that the ratings were plummeting before ABC suspended him. Obviously, they suspended him for the Charlie Kirk comments that were a complete lie, fabrication, and baloney sausage, and he ran with it anyway. So they pulled the plug, they suspended him, and the again, it's the affiliates that are driving this particular bus. But if you get just 1.1 million viewers in total and 129,000 in the demo, things aren't going well. And 129 off from 212,000, that's not enough people to like populate a medium-sized town. So this is one of those parts of the story nobody wants to talk about. This guy loses lots and lots of money. Tom Holland, apparently after his injury, it was pretty severe. He had a concussion, and he will be out for at least a week, and that means the production's shut down for at least a week, maybe two. We'll have to see. Hopefully he recovers well. We've got the Supreme Court about to weigh in on something important. In fact, they may have already decided what they're going to do with a particular 90-year-old ruling that is woefully out of date, talking about the power of the executive and how the courts are trying to limit it. The courts may have put themselves in a position for an unfavorable ruling because they decided to do a nationwide injunction from these very activist judges. Well, we need to get rid of the activist judges, but also we need to realize that if this ruling flips, there's no injunction on earth that these courts can put together. You got U.S. stocks setting more records yesterday, and well, that rally may just keep on rolling. There doesn't seem a lot to stop it other than everything the Fed's tried to do for the last 5 months. And you know what? We're going to end up seeing, well, people like Powell and many others, jobs start to become even more iffy than they are already. The regulations that called for rules on Nevada's battery sector, well, Tesla objected and won, so that's a good thing as they develop new battery technology. We've got a jury that will be looking at whether Amazon tricked customers into joining Prime and made it very hard to leave, which I think that's true. You've got state inspectors aligning with Universal's findings on that roller coaster accident with that young man that had a lot of injuries. That was because of some other injuries he already had, which it tells you not to get on the coaster if you have them. So there's that. The White House says it's blocked U.S. Steel's decision to stop processing steel at the Illinois plant, making them still operate there, keeping jobs in the state. You've got Pfizer amping its push into obesity treatments with $4.9 billion deal for Metsera. Again, weight loss drugs are something that are, I guess, important to people. Really, they're just off-label diabetes medications, so you should be a little bit concerned. But hey, I'm not your doctor. Go talk to a professional. But Google faces antitrust deja vu again, looking to break up its digital advertising business for an entirely different reason this time. I think this will happen. We've got a Trump administration wanting to hand out $2.4 billion that it took from California's high-speed railroad that never went anywhere, quite literally. And you have California attorney fined $10K for filing an appeal with fake legal citations because of AI. And finally, we are at our bear story. A hungry mama bear and cubs steal food from the back of a truck like it's a smorgasbord. Look at them. That's right. They were looking at a weekend getaway and somebody packing away what they were going to need to, well, go for a little jaunt. And in the Pittsburgh, Tennessee area, they quickly found out that bear country wasn't a place to leave your items readily available because it becomes a bear country store. So that's right. The family's truck became the bear food truck, and they took full advantage and swiped everything. So the man just stood there watching the bear and the two cubs, despite the firm warning he tried to give them. And there is a TikTok out there you can see that I just couldn't pull down. So anyway, I thought that was a lot of fun to talk about. I want to finish up on this Kimmel story though, because well, it keeps growing and it's not going to get resolved. Um, CNN actually has an article out there you can go and check out for yourself. They dropped it just about an hour and a half ago at this point, but we're gonna briefly review that in a little bit of bonus time before we go to morning magic. You see, the Jimmy Kimmel live show and the battle is far from over, according to CNN. They are correct. The battle is far from over as I fit this into the little screen here. Um, and it's exposing a deep fracture in broadcast television. This is written by, believe it or not, Brian Stelter, or at least that's his analysis. He says Jimmy Kimmel will be back on ABC tonight, but not in every market, with Sinclair refusing to air Kimmel's show on ABC affiliated stations and Nexstar not yet commenting on its plans. This free speech tug of war is far from over, and it's not. This is where CNN misleads you, or Stelter tries to mislead you. Um, well, many people tried to mislead you on this. This isn't a free speech conversation. It's a appeal to audience conversation. Disney did decide the right thing. This guy doesn't draw enough people to view his show for what we pay for this show. And really, it's just somebody's ego that's in the way here. The Disney thinks that they were being attacked and getting cancellations because of a few radical weirdos, right? That were getting some press, but that's not how any of this works. If you're going to have a nationwide show, um, you need to have broad appeal. They just don't. And when you look at what's happening here, nobody was watching Jimmy to begin with, as I noted earlier in this in the stream. So if you're only pulling like 129,000 people in the demo, these are again 18 to 54 or 24 to 54, which 24 to 54 would be really the demo. Young people don't have money anymore. So that particular group has money. That's who you're advertising to. That's the commercial demographic. So if nobody's watching, why are you paying? And I think Disney is in this real strange place because it's possible, as Weatherman reported in the chat, there are going to be over 61 stations that are not going to air this. There are also some individual affiliated stations that may just decide to not air this as well. If you have about a quarter of your stations not airing a show that you put on nationwide, you're not getting the market penetration that you need to sell commercials for what you're selling them for. So you really aren't going to make enough money making the show. But we'll have to see what happens from there. Brendan Carr says, we can do this the hard way, the easy way or the hardware. That was his line last week, but they hadn't done anything yet. And everybody was trying to blame this on the FCC, but it wasn't the FCC. It was the affiliates that were driving the car. So Iger's in a tough place, and I don't feel like they're going to get away from this. And I think this is going to drag on Disney like everything else that they've done wrong for the better part of the last decade. So, look, Disney loathes you. It was a quote from Federalist editor Molly Hemingway. And you know what? She's right. They've been loathing us for years. If you want to read through this article and analysis by Stelter, feel free. I have a feeling Nexstar is just going to say, well, we're still going to preempt this mess. So It is what it is. I want to say a quick thank you and shout out to Istaphobos for 2 Culture Casino cash in the form of a Rumble rant. Thank you, my friend. It's much appreciated. And I want to say once again to Just a Dutchie, thank you for the 20 memberships. SFX of 314, Sabretooth Raptor in the house saying, counting down the day for Culture Casino News Network 24/7, Mexican Iron Man and VR financials, and Marvin hard hitting reporting. Tom and Andre, entertainment analysis. Boy, we are building out a 24/7 news network. This is a great idea, SFX, and I kind of feel like we're on our way there starting next week with all the time changes you're about to see. We got Spirian out there gifting another Culture Casino membership. Thank you, my friend. Tegna owns 24 ABC stations too, so if they go with Nexstar, that would put them over 85 stations, according to Weatherman, that are going to opt out of this garbage. And you know what, Weatherman? There's nothing saying they won't. You have to know that when Nexstar does acquire uh, Tegna, those stations will go dark on Jimmy Kimmel also. Once again, Istaphobos, I referenced just a moment ago to say thank you for the super duper chat. Instead of running Kimmel live, Sinclair should rerun old man show clips of him in blackface and playing grab butt with the ladies. Yeah, he's notorious. And yet, not enough. All right, folks, we have to get mowing into the next show. We've got that Park Place live with myself and Vash and others. So we might be a minute or so late, but definitely pop over there right now as soon as the show ends. I want to say thank you for the gifties, for the people joining, and everybody, everybody here. And thank you, Istaphobos, for gifting a membership. Y'all are great. I appreciate you so very much. And let's get mowing on to the next show. So I'm going to run the end credits, and we will see you on Morning Magic in just a moment. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya for real.